What if the person you sacrificed your entire life for saw you as nothing more than a bank account to drain? My name is Margaret Thompson. I'm 71 years old, and for most of my life, I believed that love was measured by how much you were willing to give, without asking for anything in return. I was born in 1954 in a tiny rural town in Ohio, in a house that smelled of coal dust and fresh bread. My father worked endless shifts at the steel mill, coming home with black hands and quiet exhaustion. My mother sewed dresses for neighbors to help pay bills. We ate soup and bread most nights, wore hand-me-downs, and said grace before every meal. It was simple, hard, and full of love. At 20, I met Henry at the county fair. He was fixing the carousel engine, grease on his cheek, smiling like the world was his. We married in 1975, moved to a small suburb in New Jersey, and built a life from nothing. Henry worked as a mechanic, often double shifts. I taught third grade and tutored after school. In 1984, after years of heartbreak and prayers, our daughter Sarah arrived. She was everything. Curly hair like her father's, my stubborn eyes, and a laugh that could light up the darkest room. We saved every penny for the things that mattered. In 1995, we bought our dream, a small, cream-colored lake house on Lake Michigan. It had a wide porch, creaky floors, and a dock where we watched sunsets turn the water gold. Summers there were magic. Sarah learned to swim, caught fireflies, brought boyfriends, and later her husband David celebrated birthdays with homemade cake and barbecue. Henry washed his old Chevy truck every Sunday, waxed it until it shone, tinkered with the engine while humming Johnny Cash. That truck still carried the faint scent of his cologne years later. Henry passed suddenly 6 months ago. We were having breakfast. He poured coffee, kissed my forehead, said, "Good morning, my love," and then he was gone. Stroke, just like that. The silence afterwards was louder than anything I'd ever known. Sarah stepped in at first. She came twice a week, brought groceries, drove me to the doctor, said things like, "Mom, you're alone now. Let me take care of you." I believed her. Grief makes you trust easier. Then came that Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting in Dr. Patel's waiting room. Old magazines, the smell of antiseptic, someone coughing 2 seats away. My phone rang. Sarah. Her voice was different, flat, cold, like she was reading from a script. "Mom, David and I are flying to Asia tomorrow for a business trip. We sold the lake house and Dad's truck. We needed the cash for the investment in flights. It's done. Bye." She hung up. No sorry, no "I love you," no explanation, just those 12 seconds that erased 45 years. I sat frozen. The lake house, where we scattered some of Henry's ashes on the water, where Sarah's wedding photos were taken on the dock, where we carved our initials in the big oak tree. The Chevy truck, Henry's Sunday pride, still parked under that same oak, still smelling like him. Gone. Sold. Like they meant nothing. The nurse called my name. Checkup was fine. I left with a prescription for vitamins and a heart full of something new. Not just grief, but calm, because there was something Sarah didn't know. 3 days before he died, Henry had pressed a thick manila envelope into my hands. "Keep this in your dresser, Margaret. If anything happens to me, open it when you're ready. Promise me." Grief had buried the memory until now. I took the bus home, no truck anymore. When I got there, I went straight to the dresser. The envelope was still there, my name in Henry's neat handwriting. Inside were deeds, bank statements, stock certificates, documents for Thompson Holdings, LLC, and a long letter.
My dearest Margaret, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I'm sorry for keeping secrets, but I did it to protect us. Every overtime shift, every dollar we saved, I invested quietly. We don't just own the lake house. There are 6 rental properties, a 20-unit condo complex in Newark, the one Sarah and David live in, a small motel near the lake, shares in 3 solid companies. Current value is well over $8 million and growing. I kept it hidden because I wanted Sarah to love us for who we are, not what we have. If she ever knew, her heart might change. Now it's all yours, sole owner, sole beneficiary. Protect yourself, my love, and if she ever needs saving, save her quietly. That's what family does. Forever yours, Henry. I cried until the paper was wet. My simple mechanic husband had been a quiet genius with money. All those late nights at the garage were research. All those small bonuses were dividends reinvested. Sarah thought she'd left me with nothing. She had no idea I had everything. That night, I couldn't sleep. I paced the kitchen, thinking of her cold voice, David's slick smile. He always looked at me like I was an inconvenience. They thought they'd ruined me. Henry had protected me even after death. The next morning, Sarah called again, her tone softer, fake concern dripping. "Mom, how are you? Just wanted to say we transferred your share from the house and truck sale. It's not much, but it'll help for a few months while you find something smaller." "Your share?" I asked calmly. "Yes, 30%. Fair, right? We need the rest for the Asia investment. David has an incredible opportunity." 30% of my own things? How generous. "I see. When do you leave?" "This afternoon. Bags are packed. We'll be gone at least 6 months, maybe longer if things go well. Don't worry, Mom. When we get back, I'll help you find a small apartment that fits your needs." Fits my needs. "Okay, Sarah. Safe trip." "Oh, Mom, I knew you'd understand. You're always so compassionate. Love you so much." She hung up. From the window, I watched them load suitcases into a cab. They laughed, kissed, planned their future. They never looked back at my house. No goodbye wave. I sat with tea and Henry's documents. Time to decide. I called Mr. Lawson, the lawyer who handled Henry's affairs. He'd said at the funeral, "Call me if you ever need anything." "Mrs. Thompson, good to hear from you. How are you?" "Fine. I need to see you urgently. I found documents Henry left. I don't fully understand them." "Of course. Come to the office tomorrow morning." That night I dreamed of Henry. He was in his favorite chair reading the newspaper. He looked up, smiled. "About time, my love. About time you stood up for yourself." I woke with determination. Next morning, I dressed carefully. Wine-colored dress Henry always said made me look elegant. Hair neat, light makeup. In the mirror, I saw a woman I hadn't seen in years, strong. Mr. Lawson's office was old world. Marble floors, large windows, leather chairs. He greeted me warmly, then went quiet when he saw the documents. "Mrs. Thompson, this is far more than I imagined. Henry was an exceptionally smart man. According to these papers, you are the owner." "I know. I've read them. I need to know what I can legally do." He explained everything. The documents were solid. I was rightful owner of all properties. The lake house sale was illegal. Sarah had no authority. The condo complex? Controlled through the LLC. David had taken loans using it as collateral, not knowing it wasn't his to pledge. We can reclaim the lake house immediately. We can pursue fraud charges against your daughter.
No, I said. No public legal action. I want to do this differently, quietly. Help me? He looked curious, then nodded. Of course. What do you need? Reclaim the lake house discreetly, nullify the sale without publicity, gain full administrative control of the condo complex, especially their unit, and track David's debts. Understood. It will take weeks, but it's completely feasible. The next weeks were a double life. By day, poor, grieving widow, answering Sarah's occasional texts with, "I'm managing, dear." By afternoon, studying finance, meeting Lawson, learning how to read balance sheets, property titles, investment reports. I discovered David was deep in debt, hundreds of thousands, using fake documents, putting Sarah's name on some loans without her full knowledge. Lawson called one Wednesday. "Mrs. Thompson, good news. The lake house sale has been nullified. The buyers were innocent. They've been refunded. The house is yours again." "Excellent. And the condo complex?" "More complicated, but we're close. Administrative changes are in process. Another 2 weeks for full control." "Perfect. Keep it quiet." Sarah was in Europe. No calls, no messages, no postcards. To her, I had ceased to exist the moment they got the money, but I knew things would change soon. I took the bus to the lake house one afternoon, same route Henry and I drove hundreds of times. The house looked the same, cream paint, porch plants added by the new owners. I sat on the curb across the street and watched for an hour. Memories flooded. Henry as a toddler running on the beach, Henry grilling fish, me making salads in the tiny kitchen, family laughter echoing. An older man came out, saw me sitting. "Do you need anything?" "No, just remembering. I knew the former owners very well." He sighed. "Shame what happened. We were told the elderly lady was sick and needed to sell fast. Thought we got a deal. Turns out the daughter didn't have the right to sell. The house is going back." "Do you know the family personally?" "No, everything through intermediaries. They said the daughter was handling it because her mother couldn't." Sad. If only he knew how sad. I left with a heavy heart, not just for the money, but for the lie Sarah told. She invented my illness to justify stealing from me. To her, I wasn't a person with feelings, just an obstacle. Back home, I called Lawson again. "I also want Henry's truck back." "That's trickier. It was in his name, but Sarah had power of attorney. She sold it legally on paper." I vaguely remember signing papers after the funeral. She said it was for inheritance things. I was grieving. I didn't read them. "We can challenge it, prove deception or undue influence. It will take time, but possible." "Do it. I want everything back." 3 months later, Sarah returned, alone. Neighborhood gossip spread fast. David left her in Europe for another woman. Their investment collapsed. She came back pale, thin, dark circles, one suitcase. The condo board, now under my control, sent an eviction notice, vacate in 30 days for unpaid fees and suspected fraudulent loans. She called the next day, voice shaking. "Mom, I need to talk urgently." "Good morning, honey. How was Europe?" "Mom, no time. I received a strange letter yesterday. It says I have to vacate the apartment in 30 days. It's a mistake, right? Do you know anything?" "Eviction notice? Strange. From who?" "Some company, Robert Investments, Inc. Never heard of it. Mom, please help. David left me. I don't know what to do." Robert Investments. Henry's middle name and his quiet company name. Poetic. "I'm sorry, honey. Where are you staying now?" "In the apartment, for now." "Mom, can I come see you? I need to talk to someone." "Of course. Come whenever you want." She arrived an hour later. She looked terrible. Weight gone, clothes wrinkled, eyes red from crying. "Mom," she said, then stopped, like she wanted to hug but remembered everything. "Come in, honey. Coffee?" "Yes, please." We sat at the kitchen table, the same one where I'd opened Henry's envelope months earlier. Sarah looked small, lost. She pulled out another manila envelope. "I found this among Dad's things after the funeral. David, had it but forgot to give it to me. It has your name." I opened it in front of her. I'd arranged this through Lawson. Inside, a short letter and a small key. "Sarah, if you're reading this during hard times, this key opens safety deposit box 247 at Central Bank downtown. Something to help, but use it wisely. Eternal love, Dad." Sarah read over my shoulder. A safety deposit box? Dad had one? News to me too, I lied. Should we go see what's inside? I don't know, honey. Maybe leave it. But Mom, maybe it's important. Documents or something valuable. It could help. Her desperation was thick. Okay, I said after a pause. We'll go tomorrow. Next day, she was excited, nervous, hopeful. I played the confused widow perfectly. At the bank, we opened box 247. Inside, jewelry, heirloom rings, necklaces, bracelets, earrings, emeralds, pearls, gold, Henry's family pieces, and others he'd bought quietly. A note listed origins and approximate values, around $220,000. Sarah gasped. Mom, this must be worth a fortune. I suppose so. Look at this emerald and pearl necklace. Dad and you saved this for years. What should we do with it? I don't know. Family memories. But Mom, we could sell some pieces, pay off David's debts, maybe get the lake house back. Even now, finding treasure, her first thought was fixing David's mess. Sure you want to use your father's inheritance to pay your husband's debts? What choice do I have? If we don't pay soon, they'll seize everything. I let her take the jewels home. She spread them on the kitchen table, examined each one, calculated values, decided what to sell first. It hurt to watch decades of family history turned into numbers. One afternoon, she said, Mom, I think we can get about $180,000 after fees. Less than I hoped, but enough for the urgent debts. Are you sure? No choice. If we don't pay, foreclosure on the condo. Everything's at risk. Ironic, she was terrified of losing the condo I owned. Meanwhile, Lawson quietly proved David had forged documents and coerced Sarah into some loans. The debts were legally shifted to him alone. I paid the lawyers from a separate account. Sarah never knew the source. Sarah took a night job cleaning offices. I can't keep depending on you forever. I need to stand on my own. I watched her leave in her uniform, hair in a simple ponytail, feet already sore. Pride and pain mixed inside me. She came home exhausted at 2 a.m., but her eyes were clearer. She started using coupons at the grocery store, negotiating with creditors, applying for jobs despite her ruined credit. One evening after her shift, she said, Mom, I want to go back to school, social work. These past months, I've seen what it's like to have nothing, no support. I want to help women who feel lost and betrayed, like I did. That's beautiful, honey. Dad would love that. She kept the cleaning job even when she didn't have to. I need to finish what I started. I can't go back to the old life like nothing happened. Months passed. Lake house back in my name. Truck returned to the driveway, still faintly smelling of Henry. Condoplex fully under control. Sarah's name cleared from the debts, silently. I invited her to the lake house for a weekend. We sat on the porch at sunset, same swing Henry and I used for decades. Sarah, I said softly, there's something you need to know. I handed her the thick envelope, the original one from Henry. Deeds, statements, the letter. She read slowly. Her face changed. Shock, then tears. You owned everything? All this time? The condo? The lake house? Dad's company? Yes. You could have sued me, taken everything. Why didn't you? I could have punished you. Instead, I let life teach you. Your father wanted you to learn what really matters. She sobbed. I was awful, greedy, blind. David used me. I used you. I lied about you being sick. I took everything and ran. I pulled her close. You're learning now. That's what matters. We forgave, not instantly, but deeply. Years later, Sarah finished her degree. She started a nonprofit, weekend retreats for single mothers and women escaping bad relationships. The lake house became their safe place, free stays, counseling, hope. I oversee the investments quietly, volunteer at her programs, drive the old Chevy truck to pick up supplies. Some evenings I sit on the porch alone, lake lapping softly, truck parked under the oak. I speak to Henry in the silence. I did it, my love. Not revenge, redemption. She understands now. And I feel him smile. Justice came quietly. Love came back stronger. If you liked this story, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next heartfelt life story. Your support means everything. Thank you for reading. See you in the next one. Love and respect.